Well, good morning. We are sitting in the freezer because it got cold and I still haven't warmed up yet. Look, you got a sweater on. You got a sweater on.
Yeah. I also am wearing shorts.
Yes, you are. Yeah. Good to be with you this morning, and we are actually warming up. I just have to take longer. Looking back, we went through Daniel 6 on Sunday, and Daniel 6 is kind of, there were so many things that popped out that was really fun and when I was studying it and tried to relay those. One of the things that struck me was that it parallels Daniel 3 so well, where Daniel's friends are brought to the fiery furnace. I think that's something that probably is pretty well known, but two passages where God doesn't save people from the trial, he saves them through the trial. And that's just something worth reflecting on. I think so often we think, God, why are you not stopping this? Why, I've done all this stuff for you. Why are you, or I've trusted you. Why are you not saving me from this hurt or this pain or this suffering or this struggle? And I think that reveals something that didn't come up in the sermon. I'll just make a comment. You guys can make a comment on that too. But I think that reveals a transactional view that we tend to take with God. It's so easy for us to say, God, I'll do this for you if you do that for me, or I did this for you. Why aren't you doing that for me? And I think that reveals a transactional view that is very easy to do, but very not what God wants. He wants a relationship where it's not seen as a transaction. It's seen as, I love you. I'm going to walk with you, whatever. I don't know. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think I'm trying to remember the word for it, because there's one that the academics like to use that just kind of reference that type of religious thing, and my brain is probably because I'm too warm. It's too hot. I'm shut down now. But you're absolutely. I think you're. Yes, I totally agree. Yeah. But it's not just transactional. The unfortunate thing is, we have this idea that comes up in some church circles, where if I do A, God will always do, and yet I think about Hebrews, right, where you've got that long list of all of the saints, right, these role models of faith, and how many of them still went through hard times and trials that kind of replicate the Daniel principle. I think about Jesus' first disciples and how many of them faced horrific, brutal deaths. Yeah. And yet I would think if ever there was some people who, would deserve, a nice cushy end, maybe it was Peter or some of these people who gave up so much to advance the gospel, and yet they had horrific ends. And then I come along and go, I'm somehow going to be different. Yeah. Right? Why do I not think that my life could have some trials and hardships, and yet that would have not any bearing on, sometimes we have hardships because we make dumb decisions, but that's not what this is. This is, pursuing God day in, day out, and yet, that, like you said, he's with us through it. He doesn't necessarily remove us from it.
Yes.
It's interesting you said as Christians or as a church, we have this mentality. I would actually say that's human. Why?
Yeah.
Right. Think about how many movies or whatever where the phrase is thrown out. God, if you just get me through this, I will. X, Y, Z.
Exactly.
And I don't think it's just movies. I think it's actually people when they hit moments of desperation. So, what would that story have been like if? As Daniel is being taken to the lion's den, God, if you just get me out of this one, I promise I will. And all these deal makings we try and do with God, and I don't think I would say, you know, like he shakes his head at that or like thinks we're dumb. I don't think that's the thing at all. I think he actually still in the end is saying, look to Proverbs 3, 5, 6, and 7, which I think Daniel did, which says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And so like, you know, I'm thinking about a biography that I'm reading about somebody who, to everybody around him, he seems crazy. And yet he is also saying, no, I'm actually going to trust God in this moment.
Yeah.
And to logical sense, or even to a world that does not believe, it seems like folly. And yet, you know, Corinthians tells us it actually is the wisdom of God to trust him in these things. So I think, yeah, I don't think God is so small that he would be easily, you know, thrown off, you know, if we try and transaction our way out of this.
Yeah.
And yet, I think he also heard Daniel,
Yeah.
and I think he heard the friends in the fiery furnace too.
Well, obviously,
right, like
he was with them.
he answered. He actually answered.
Yeah.
And so we can, you know, in a Bible story way, we can point to this, or in a Bible story way, we can point to Hebrews 11 and say, like, sometimes God answers.
Yeah.
Sometimes God doesn't.
You know, Timothy Keller, former pastor and theologian and writer and author, all this stuff, he talked about how people often come to Jesus for what we can get from him. But as they grow with him, they start to want Jesus for who he is. And I think that's kind of what we're talking about here, moving from transactional. God actually listens sometimes, you know. God, if you get me out, I'll do this and this and this. And I don't think he's like, I'm going to hold you to that. He's just like, I love you. I'm going to get, you know, and he does sometimes. And other times, we don't know why God does. His ways are beyond ours. But he is trustworthy. He is good. And the cool thing about Daniel is I think he did come to God because he loved him. He's like, I love you, Lord. Like he went 3 times a day because he wanted to. Yeah. Praying. He was faithful because he knew that was the most joyful way to live, the best. He trusted the Lord, all those things, and God was with him through it. And what we have now is not only is God with us through whatever we face, but even death itself is only a doorway. You know, it's like when you think about Jesus going through death, you think, what? God died? But God went through death. Like, you know, we think of dead as the end, but he went through death and made a way through for us. And I think that's such an important thing to ponder is, what am I loving Jesus for who he is, and that he's with me always, and that he cares about me, and I want to care about him. And that's a challenge because I don't think we come to him that way. We come to him for something. And as we grow, we start to love him for who he is, and I don't know how that transition actually happened. I think that's his work in our hearts, but I find myself becoming more like that, wanting to be further down that road, often being like, God, I don't want to face that. But yeah, there's so many other things. I mean, we didn't even get to the jealousy of the other administrators and satraps that were so jealous of Daniel's promotion. Like, dude, that would be the best for you, you know? And yet they want it for themselves. But the thing is, how many of them went to they said all the administrators and satraps, they lied to the king because Daniel was one of them. Who else didn't know about this hatched plan, and which one of them was vying for the, or all, you know, like, it's just kind of, you're jealous, but what's your goal here? Are all of you going to be promoted to this? Yeah, it's kind of interesting to think about these things.
It also is funny, like every time you blink, Daniel and his friends are getting promoted.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
You know,
yeah, exactly.
glorified in some way.
Right.
We do have a highly condensed account too.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
just
true.
look at how many kings.
70 some years.
Yeah, right. We're already burned through a couple kings here,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
However,
Well, Daniel's been great, and if you want to catch up, you can go back and listen to some of the previous weeks of sermons. But this Sunday will be Daniel 7. Some say it's the high point, the culmination of the book. It's hard to say that any one chapter is so much better than all the rest, because they all seem to be really awesome and thought-provoking. But yeah, we're excited to see you on Sunday for the next Looking Beyond. Actually, before Sunday is tomorrow night. The women are getting together at 6 o'clock here in the fellowship room, which is where we are.
Yeah.
And it will be nice and toasty for you. And there will be...
Is there toast?
no, better, pie. And,
Might be toast if you leave it in too long.
yeah, that's true. So it depends on how you do. Anyways, that's tomorrow night. Sunday, we're starting something.
Yeah, so because we're heading into this next season, we're planning down the line. A lot of Christmas things are actually happening. So we have bookings, we have rentals, we have stuff going on in December, and so we want to be well prepared for when we get there. And so even this Sunday, there is a drama that's actually coming together. That's primarily our kids and youth and yeah, a large group that's coming together, and they're going to start Christmas drama practices already. So you can be praying for us and them, and it'll be fantastic. Plan ahead.
That's what we're trying to do, is plan ahead. But then realizing too, in our planning ahead, there's things that come up in the middle of that, and it's so good that we're starting to see frost, because it already kind of points us towards Christmas.
It's not good.
It is so good. It is so good for my Scottish soul. Because it's also shoebox season, believe it or not. Collection is in a month. It is just.
You're just
Now you
trying to
don't
be
know.
at odds today, aren't you?
It's one of those mornings, Jeff. It's one of those. No, it is shoebox season, and so because there's like 1 month till our collection date, and so we want to be reminding you of that for those of you who like to participate. If you've never done it before, maybe it's a new Christmas tradition, which is really more like a fall tradition for you and your family. But we have until November 17th to pick up a shoebox, fill it with gifts for a child overseas. And there is lots of information and suggestions online on their website as to what to put in them. If you're like, I don't know if filling a shoebox is for me, you can also go online and just just offer gifts and financial gifts, and then Samaritan's Purse will take care of shoeboxes on your behalf. But we love it when we can challenge people within our church to fill a box, do it as a family, do it as an individual, a couple, however your family makeup is, and bring them in. So there's some boxes available to be picked up this week. We're trying to secure more for that, but we've got a good collection to get us started right now, so you could pick one up on Sunday, and then you've got a few weeks to fill that and get it back. It's also not too early to start thinking about Light Up, which is December 5. I had a really great chat this week with the community organizer of that, about some of the new plans for Light Up. The time frame on December 5th, first Friday of December, is tightened a little bit. But we're doing a booth there where we invite people to stop by, make an ornament. And then, so we'd love to have some help with that if you'd like to hang out with us. Sometimes the roles that need to be filled are just standing, holding on to the tent because the wind is too strong for our anchors. Yeah. And we have a new beautiful tent, and we definitely are looking forward to popping that thing out and getting it out there. But then there's other ways to get involved with the event too. If you'd like to spend an hour just kind of being a community greeter and directing foot traffic, there's lots of ways, little things like that. Or join us in our booth. But talk to me for more details on Light Up. And we'd love to put together a great team of people.
Yeah, so exciting times. We are back in the routine of school and life groups and all those things. And again, if you are part of a life group and you want to, and you just be sure to talk to Kevin or I.
It's funny you said school, because I got a text from somebody yesterday who finished 2 midterms at college.
Oh, wow, yeah, wow, okay.
School-
so we're
school is
really-
starting, but we're deep
really in
into
the
it.
middle of it, yeah, I don't know, it's time.
Jeff,
flies
it's not
so
the
fast.
summer anymore. Catch up with this.
I have. Anyways, hope that you're looking forward to some.
Jeff's still in February.
And hope you have a great week. We'll look forward to hopefully seeing you on Sunday.